Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hello guys, today I am going to be showing you how I made this mother placard or sign that you could potentially gift as a Mother's Day gift since Mother's Day is coming soon. So I'm going to show it to you. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so basically what we do is we're going to take and we're going to insert pictures inside the word mother in Cricut Design Space. Now, what I like to do is I like to start out in Microsoft PowerPoint. And I know that my letters, you're going to want pictures, on the top of the letter and the bottom of the letter. So I like to take and put each picture in Microsoft PowerPoint individually. And then I kind of size the pictures around, as you can see here. I kind of play around with the pictures to get them up and down to make sure that I get everybody in the picture and that their head's not cut off or you can't tell who it is, like some of the ones that you may have seen. So again, I go in, I just bring the pictures in and I just size them in Microsoft PowerPoint so that I can fill up my screen so that when when I look at the whole thing, it's just going to be one cohesive picture like this when I take it to Cricut Design Space. So if you have some software where you can upload your photos to, I'm not suggesting Cricut, but like Microsoft PowerPoint or Microsoft Word or Photoshop or Paint, something that you can bring, Microsoft Paint, something that you can bring your images into and play around with them with the sizing and then take a snapshot of all of those pictures together. So again, I brought all my pictures in. As you can see here, I moved some around based on once I took it into Cricut Design Space, if I felt somebody's head was being chopped off or whatever. Like on my mother sign, you're going to see that my great grandbaby right here, hey, Caden. His photo got sliced right here in the middle. So I actually put Caden in two additional places so that I can ensure that his photo comes out. And then here is another photo here. And this is Holliston Jr. And on this one, I had him initially at the top and his head was being cut off. And so I just brought him down some and then moved Caden up in some individual pictures. Same thing I did with my granddaughter, Micaiah. So you'll see that. And then some of the pictures, it'll be easier. Like if some of the images, like if she would have gotten cut off, it wouldn't have been as bad because this is for her and you really want most of the pictures to be about the kids. So some of the pictures you're going to see, I flipped them around. Well, you won't see, but some of the pictures I actually just flipped around. So in Microsoft PowerPoint, if I wanted to put my daughter on the left and then then move Anasia over to the right, then I would just go picture, rotate, and then flip horizontal. You see how it moves that photo? And then if I don't click on it, it just puts it back. So, again, find some software. I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint that you can kind of play around with to get all of your images where you're going to be able to have somebody on the top and the lower half so that mother will be completely covered and everybody's pictures will be represented. Now, you may not need this many people in your photo, but I was working with having to capture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people for this Mother's Day image. So I wanted to make sure that, I got everybody represented. Okay. So again, bring your images into some software where you can play around with sizing them and flipping them and getting them just to where you need them. And then go ahead and group that photo together or take a snapshot of it. You can always, if you're using a computer or your laptop, you can use what they call the snip tool, or you can use the print screen feature. Either one of those will work. So like if I was here, I could go down to this little, to the search functionality, little magnifying glass, and you can type in what you're looking for. So there's a couple of things. That's the snipping tool. If you just go down here and search for it at the bottom of your screen in the bottom left corner, if you're using a computer or laptop, if you go down to the search to the magnifying glass and type in snipping, it'll show you the snipping tool. So you can use the snipping tool to take a picture of everything together. So if I click on snipping tool, okay, it looks like I got a thing that snipping tool is moving. So now they're asking me, do I want to try a snip and sketch? So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it says if I want to, I'm going to show you here. So it changed over to something called snip and sketch now. And it says press the Windows logo key plus the Shift and S to snip what's on your screen without starting snip and sketch. Okay, so your Windows logo is going to be, hold on one second. You want to just make sure that you go ahead and click the Windows logo on your keyboard, the Shift and S. So I'm going to do that so I can snip this screen so you can see what it's going to look like. So if I were to go Windows logo, hold on one second. I click one thing by itself. I just want to show you how it's going to work. Shift and S. So you see how it came up? I did those three things together. The Windows logo key on my keyboard plus Shift and S, all three together. And now it gives me the snipping tool where I can just click it and it's going to take a snapshot. And then all I have to do is just new slide. And that's the whole picture. That's how you use the snipping tool. You can also use the print screen on your keyboard. So there's on my laptop, there is a PRTSC screen. It stands for print screen key. There's a print screen key. I can just hit that by itself, and it will also bring up these little crosshairs, as you can see playing around on my screen, little white crosshairs, and I can just drag that to where I want it and take a snippet of my screen. It's the same concept as the snipping tool. Now, if I click and say new slide, I can insert that photo right into PowerPoint. Okay, and so now I can just save this as a picture. Okay, and I just save it to my desktop, but I've already put this in, so I'm not going to go through that. Okay, so that is the start of how you get your images. Okay, so just play around with a bunch of images, or if you have one family photo, you just want to make sure, guys, that you're not having to do M by itself, O by itself, T by itself, H by itself. It's too time consuming. So I start out here, like I said, in Microsoft PowerPoint. Now I'm going to go into Design Space. Hold on one second. I'm going to bring my Design Space over so you can see it. Okay, so here's my Design Space. So what I'm going to do is I have a blank canvas, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in the word mother, all capital letters. And you can use this with whatever word you want to use it. You can do mother, you can do family, you can do love. You can insert photos in any word that you so choose. Now, the font that I like to use when I'm playing around with this is called Impact. So I'm going to go ahead and locate Impact. And here it is. Now, if you're ever confused about, is this a Cricut font that someone is using, or is it a system font, meaning it's something that they extracted from somewhere else and brought it to their computer and into Cricut Design Space, then right here you have three areas. This is all. This, if I click on all, let me click out of here. If I click on all, it gives me all the fonts in Cricut Design Space, system and Cricut fonts, okay? That's what all is. If I click on system, it's only going to give me the fonts that I have uploaded to Cricut Design Space. These were not fonts that were in Cricut Design Space. These are all fonts that over time I have installed or added, uploaded to Cricut Design Space, okay? If I click on Cricut, these are all Cricut fonts. These fonts came with Cricut Design Space. So when you know that you're looking for a particular font, you can narrow your search by clicking on all, system, or Cricut, okay? So again, I'm just going to type in impact and search. Hold on one second. So if I type in impact and I'm on Cricut and it doesn't come up, that means it's not a Cricut font. So now if I go to system, impact comes up. And again, that's because I uploaded this font myself. Now, if you don't want to have to try to guess between if it was a font you uploaded or if it's a Cricut font, just leave it on all and it will find either or, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and select impact and it changes your font. Now, with this project, guys, you want to make sure that you move the letters over because you don't want a lot of space. Now, you don't want them where you can't tell what the word is, but you do want to shift your letters. So I'm going to kind of drag this out a little bit so you can see it. And I normally unlock my letters when I'm working with this because I kind of like to shift my letters down to make them even fatter and wider, okay? So now we have mother. You have this area in your menu that is called letter space, okay? If I click on this drop down arrow here that is pointing downward, it's going to shift my letters to the left, okay? Now, again, you want the letters to shift to the left, but notice this H and E and this E and R and the T and H, they're moving pretty quickly to where if I keep going, you won't be able to, it'll be like they merge together. So I'm going to show you. So you don't want to do this, okay? Because then it'll be hard for you to tell what the word is, okay? But if you do go too far, all you have to do is click on the up arrow for letter space, and it'll start to shift the letters back to the right, okay? So I like that. It's just a tiny hint of space in there, but I can still tell what each one of my letters are, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this just for a second. And I'm going to show you that there is another way that you can also move your letters, okay? Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging because you have to remember to group and ungroup and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go up here to my right and I have layers, color sync, and then the layers are going to be broken up by, do you want to group it, ungroup it, duplicate it, delete it, what have you, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this, okay? When I ungroup, I can now go in and move these letters however I want. So let's say I wanted to, make mother like this. I can do that, okay? Then I can take and just group it back together. Now, I will tell you that once you use ungroup, you can no longer change this font. You see here, the font type is gone. So I no longer, once you ungroup this font and do something with it, you can no longer change the font. You would have to start over, okay? However, when you're using the letter space, you still have access to change your font. If I wanted to go in and change this font to something else, I would still be able to do so, okay? So that's the difference in between using letter space. You still have access to your font type if you want to change the font type. If you use group and ungroup on the right side near your layers, then you're stuck with whatever your decision is after you move stuff around, unless you start over with your text, okay? So now we have mother. It doesn't matter what color we have because we all know that our pictures are going to be inside of this word, okay? So now that we have mother, we want to go ahead and we want to bring our image in, okay? So I'm going to upload my image, and I've already brought it into Cricut Design Space, as you can see here, and this is where I played around with my photos to make sure everybody was represented. So this was the last one that I brought in, so I'm going to go with that one and insert images. And so now I have everybody. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and bring mother to the front. So I'm clicking on mother and I'm saying move forward. Okay. And I'm going to take my image and I'm going to size my image. I'm going to unlock it on the left hand side so that I can play around with the sizing. And then we're going to bring it over just like that. Okay. So you can already tell that, you know, you'll be able to see right up front if anybody is not represented in the photo, and then you can play around with it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift mother back to the back by clicking on the mother and move backwards. And then this will allow you to kind of play around with the sizing here on your picture. So if I unlock it here, then it gives me free range to kind of play around with it like I want to. Okay, so I can make it as big as I want to or as small as I want to. You want to make sure that by the time you finish, that mother is or your word is on the front and the image is in the back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and send the picture to the back. I'm going to resize my mother again. And you see how everybody is in the photo. Okay. So you just kind of play around with it until you get it just like you want it. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to go back because I'm going to show you something. And this is good. So you see how everybody is represented. Everybody is represented except for Dorian. It looks like in both images, his head is kind of cut out. So what I'm going to do, and Darian. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the picture of Darian and I'm going to flip this picture of Candace and Dorian so that Candace is cut out, but Dorian will be represented in the picture. We'll be able to see him. And I actually may move the pictures around just a little bit. So I'm going to go back over and let me make sure that this was the last one that I took. So I'm just going to delete that one. And let's see what this one looks like. Okay, this is the one that I used. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to resize my picture. Okay, so I'm just playing around with the adjusting here because my sizing has changed since the last time I did this. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to shift Dorian. And I think after I shift Dorian, everybody will be represented in the photo. Let's see. Yep, Dorian is kind of like the only one that's kind of out. And Darian just a little bit. I think I might shift that one. So I'm going to try shifting those two pictures in Microsoft PowerPoint. So it's going to be as simple as go back to your initial, go to click on it, go to picture format, rotate, flip horizontal. Same thing with this image, picture, rotate, flip horizontal. And actually, I'm going to crop Candace out. So I'm going to go back to picture format, crop, and I'm going to crop her out right here. And I'm going to put Dorian twice. That way I can ensure that he's going to be in there. Okay, so it may look weird, but that's so that I'll have him represented. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and let's see, Darian was in the photo. And what I'm going to do is on that one, I'm going to go picture, crop, and we're going to crop mama. And we're going to copy and paste. But we want to make sure that we get Darian in there completely. Okay, so I'm going to lay him. I'm going to bring that to the front. So that I don't have it like that. Okay, we'll just see what it looks like. All right, so we're going to try it again. I'm going to go ahead and do print screen on my keyboard. Let me bring my picture down. Okay. Print screen. I'm going to take a snapshot. I'm going to do a new slide, insert the picture, and then I'm going to save it as. So I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm just going to say, hey, family. And we're going to go ahead and save. We're going to go back to Cricut Design Space. And we're going to upload that photo. Okay. And we're going to go with complex. I think complex always gives the best definition of the photo. And I'm just going to go ahead and insert the photo. We're going to use the print then cut, upload that. And here we are. Okay, so just that simple. Now I know I clicked on that photo. I know I did. Cricut has really been acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs lately. That's why I don't really use it as much, guys. There we go. You see how long it took it for it to come in? All right, so here we have now. Let's play around with it again. We're going to go ahead and unlock the proportions here. And again, you want to make sure that mother is in the front, okay? And the picture is in the back. So we're going to do it again. Okay. So for whatever reasons, Dorian is just not cooperating. We got them cut out here. We got everybody represented. Okay. I think. Hold on one second. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that because that does show that we got him. And it looks like we got everybody there. So we got Dorian's head here. Holliston's going to be showing right in here. Okay, so I got everybody. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to highlight them both. You have to make sure that you're only, when you're working with the slice functionality, guys, you have to make sure that you're working with only one, two layers. You have to have 2 layers. You cannot have more than 2 layers. And I'm going to explain the layers to you here. Just give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I want to make one more change. Okay. Some kind of way we're going to get him in there. Okay, we're just going to do it like that. All right, so I'm just going to take, oh, that's not what I want to do. Print screen. And this is going to be my last time for real. I do not want this video to be super long. All right, so we're going to save it. I'm going to save it as this one. And we're going to go back to our Cricut Design Space. Upload. And desktop. And I know you guys know how to upload a photo, so I'm not going through click here, click here, click here, because we've already done that. Continue. We're using the print and cut side. And we're going to go ahead and upload that. All right. So bring mother forward. And that way you can kind of see what you got going on. We got everybody represented in here at some point. We got everybody. Okay. So I can see that everybody's picture is some way in this photo. And you want to make sure that you do have mother completely covered. That sounds funny, don't it? You want to make sure you got mother completely covered. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so I want to explain layers to you. So you want to make sure that you're only working with 2 layers. And if you notice here at the top right side of your screen, your Cricut canvas is broken up, or the home page, home screen is broken up into different components. So on the right side of your screen here, you have layers and you have color sync. And we'll talk about color syncs one day. But on the layers, when you're working with slice, each one of these lines that you see here is considered a layer, okay? So if I were to go in and insert on mother again, you can see that it is one layer. But if I go in and ungroup it, now when you look at it, each letter is a layer. So if I was trying to use this right here, and let's say I said, okay, I'm going to group it. It's still going to put it in layers, because remember, once you ungroup your font, you cannot play around with it to get it back into a single unless you weld it. So if I come down here and click on weld, now it's going to make it one layer. Okay. It'll make it one layer, but you still lose all your functionality. So if I wanted to change this font, notice I can't change this font. Once you ungroup a font or text, let me say, once you ungroup the text, it's pretty much a done deal, okay? So do whatever you need to do to it before you ungroup it, because once you ungroup it, you're basically gonna have to start over if you mess up, okay? So you can only slice 2 layers at a time. Each line on this side is considered a layer. So if you click on, right off the bat, I'm going to put that in again. If I type in mother and I click on ungroup, and I don't even do anything to it, but I group it back together, it's still not going to make it one word. So if I were to now take, and I don't want to mess with my picture, so I'm going to upload another picture here. But now if I bring that picture in and I say, well, here's my picture and here's mother, and I'm just going to unlock it. I hate when Cricut does that. Okay, so now if I unlock it and I stretch these letters around, and so I stretch these letters around and everything looks just like what you see on the left-hand side of my screen. Everything looks the same, okay? But when I highlight this, slice is not an option. And it's not an option because when you look to the right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. You cannot do slice with more than 2 layers. You can only slice 2 layers at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I wanted to make sure everybody understands that you can only slice 2 layers at a time. Okay. So now that I have mother and my images, and I can tell that, and you want to make sure that your text is in the front of the picture before you slice. So I'm going to go ahead and select them both. Notice it's only 2 layers, and now I can click on slice. Okay, and it's going to show me that it has my slice results on the right. So now if I move mother out of the way, and once you slice, you've now lost all font changes. So I can no longer change this font if I wanted to. I would have to start over with my text. Okay, so I'm going to move all of these out of the way, and there is mother with everybody's picture. Okay. And even though I kept looking, thinking Dorian wasn't represented, look, he ended up in the picture like 2, 3 times, and Darian. But everybody's in the photo, so I'm not gonna, this is not gonna be a deal breaker for me because I'm just showing you. Because I do know that the last time I did it, everybody was represented, so I probably could have just went with that photo, but I put a lot of thought into it. So there's Mariah, there's Anasia, there's Micaiah, there's Malaya, there's Caden, here's Holliston, there's Tony, there's Dorian, there's Holliston Sr., and there's Darian. So everybody is in the photo, and Mama even got in some of the pictures, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is you can take this, guys, and you can use it just like it is. Okay, you can use it just like it is. Now, do remember in Cricut Design Space, print then cut, you do have size restrictions, which is 6.75 by 9.25. Okay, 6.75 by 9.25 is the largest. Now, I'm told that Cricut has changed those size restrictions, and I did everything, even went back to the previous version, and I still don't have access to larger functionality for print then cut. So I would take this if I wanted it larger, and I would take it to Microsoft PowerPoint and get exactly what I wanted. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. And before I slice, I'm going to take a look at the picture that I had at first, which I think was this one. And I'm just going to see. Come on, Cricut. Okay, remember mother has to be in the front. Okay. and you can only do 2 layers. So I'm going to slice. And there we go. And we got everybody. I knew that when I did it the first time, I did end up with everybody. I didn't slice that as good as I could have, but I just didn't want to have Dorian like 5 times. So we got Dorian right there. We got Holliston, Darian, Mariah, Anasia, Micaiah, Malaya, Caden, Holliston Jr., Micaiah. I got her again because her picture kind of cut off a little bit down here. So I brought her up here, and there is Dorian. Okay, so we got everybody represented. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is you can use this by itself. You can go right in and print this off on printable vinyl or printer sticker paper, or sticker paper, not printer sticker paper because sticker paper is printable. Sticker paper or printable vinyl. So either one of those. And then you could add this onto like a wood plaque or marble plaque or some type of sign that you can hang up in your house, or picture frame it, however you want to do it. But what I like to do is when I saw this, I was like, I want to kind of play around with it a little bit. So there's a couple of things that I did. So once I got mother, I kind of played around with some shapes. So I clicked on my shapes on the left, and then I took and I just unlocked that shape and brought it to the size that I have here. And I made that shape a red color. This time I'm going to try like a blue. And then I'm going to move it to the back so you can kind of see what it looks like. Okay. So then I was like, I like that, but I kind of want mother to be outlined in white. So I'm going to duplicate my shape, and I'm going to change the shape color to white. And then what I did is I just made the white just a little bit larger than everything else. And then I'm going to go over here and click on my picture and send it to the front. So that's how I got that outline in white, but I still had the red behind there, and you can play around with the sizing. Okay. And so you can make this, guys, make it your own. You know, a lot of times I see the same standard mother. Get creative, make it your own, you know, like I said, play around with it. I may not have had this white as thick as what I have it now. So let me see if I down it a little bit here. There we go. I think I had it more like that. Okay, so now you can see mother, and notice we got a little break in between each letter. Okay, so that it still spells out mother. Everybody is represented in it. You can also go in and, you know, let's say you got some Falcon fans out there. You can change this from a basic cut to standard, and then go in and play with your print types and pull up a pattern. So let's say we wanted to use a print in the background instead of just a plain color. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, but just play around with them, guys. Make them your own. Mother's Day is coming. Like I said, you could do mother, you could do mom, you could do family, you could do love. Play around with all kinds of words and backgrounds. And then once you get it like you want it, I don't want that. So I'm going to go back to the blue color. Give me 1 second here. Maybe like that color blue. And the other thing that I did is I kind of like you know, you can get, like I said, even more creative by just adding different shapes. Last time I played around with a different shape, but this is how I got my corners to look different. So let's say that we made those white. And I'm doing this in Cricut, but I actually did all my designing in PowerPoint because I just have a little bit more ability to do stuff in there. Okay, just to make it look like it was intentional. Okay, you know, you can make them a different color than what they are. Okay, so just kind of play around with it, get creative, like I said. You know, this is how you learn, guys, just by going out here and playing around in Cricut Design Space. That is how you're going to learn Cricut Design Space, you know. And when you mess up a project, guys, it's not really, don't look at it as messing up, look at it as learning. You just learned something new, okay? Because that's pretty much what it is. The other thing that I did is, because I'm thinking as I'm talking, because I deleted the initial one that I did. So I could go here. Hold on one second. I'm on my second monitor, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I won't worry about that. Oh, but this is the other thing that I did. I added a little extra space down there, and then I inserted text, and I actually put the last name, McGuire, down here. So it's like Mother McGuire. And I went in and I changed the font. I think I used Autumn in November, which is one of my favorites. Autumn, yeah, here we go. Okay. And guys, you can play around with your alignment. I'm not doing all the alignment and stuff, but you have your alignment where you can center and left and right. I'm just trying to get the basics down here for you. And one of the things that I showed another person in my group today is when you're using the character map. The character map is not a part of Cricut Design Space. It is an app that's associated with Windows, and that's where you can get special characters from, guys. So, for example, I'm using the text Autumn and November, and I can actually go down to my search magnifying glass in the bottom left corner, right to the next side of your Windows logo. I can click on that magnifying glass and type in character. That's not the one I want. 1 second. And it's going to bring up this little diamond at the bottom of my screen, if you can kind of see that a little bit. But this is the character map. This is what it looks like. It is not a part of Cricut, but it works with the fonts in Cricut, or the fonts that you have installed on your computer and the Cricut fonts. So this is Autumn and November. If I were to now click on this drop down arrow and look for Autumn and November, because you do have to be using the font in order to get those character maps to work with it. So I'm looking at Autumn and November, And this shows me all the additional special characters that I cannot get just by clicking the font inside Cricut Design Space. And I think earlier today, we were using a font called Ball something. Hold on one second. And I'm going to change it. Let's see. Boil. I can't, just that quick, I've forgotten what the name of that font was. Let's see. I'm going to try Kiss Me or Not and see what the fonts look like for this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my character map. Okay, and I'm going to look for Kiss Me or Not. All right, so these little special characters, guys, this is where you get those. So I'm going to copy it. And now I can go back to McGuire and click inside and then do Control and V as in Victor. And it's going to paste that little special character inside of my text. I'm going to do it again because I want to get the right hand side one. That's the left. So you want to make sure that you remove the one that was there just by clicking it. And we're going to, this time, click the one to the right and select it, copy it, click out of it, go back to your font, Control V as in Victor, and now I have the little, circly thing on the left and the right side. So I could take this and delete it and bring McGuire down. And that's how you get those special characters. You do not get the special characters inside Cricut Design Space. You have to use this character map, and you want to match your character map to the font that you're using in Cricut Design Space, okay? Now, let me find the font so I can show everybody at one time this little tail that we were looking for today that I have now forgotten the name of, but I'm going to find it really quickly here because I know that it was called something with a B. So I'm going to go to the B's and it'll come to me. It is called, hold on. Brand Boil. That's it right there. Brand Boil. Okay, so I'm going to change this font. Remember I said the font you're using in Cricut Design Space has to match the font that you're looking for the character map. So I'm going to type in Brand Boil. This is not a Cricut font. This is a font that I uploaded from thefont.com. There it is. So I'm going to change this to Brand Boil. There we go. And you can tell it's different than down here. Okay, so now I have Brand Boil. Now if I go to my character map and pull up Brand Boil, here's the tail. So remember, whatever I had in there, it still shows that I have one of those little loopy ones. I'm going to highlight it and just hit delete. And now I'm going to click this little tail and hit select and copy. Now I can go back to McGuire and I'm going to insert that there. So there's the little tail thing, okay? But I would highly recommend that you add it by itself. So I'm going to go here and put it as a character on its own. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to delete that one. So now I can use this by itself. You can unlock that. And now I can make it look like that came attached and we did the little swirly thing. Okay. So you can have it be big or small. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys that because I know I had questions about it earlier. So I just wanted to cover that in this tutorial. And so now we have McGuire all ready to go, with the exception of we're going to put these little things here to see what that looks like and see if I like it. If I don't, I'm going to remove it. So let's see. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna like it. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like that. But there is your sign, and you have the mother and then the McGuire down here. You could also then, guys, go and use your print screen functionality or your snipping tool. You can take a snippet of this, because this is going to be a print then cut, and you can go right back into PowerPoint and paste it. Now I could actually do copy and then right click and say format background, and go over here to where it says format background and click on that and say clipboard, and it will put my image in. And then I can play around with the sizing to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now I could do a full-blown print without worrying about size restrictions. I could go right to File, Print, print this current slide, and I can print this as a full or a larger size than Cricut Design Space. And of course, you could just cut off the little edges yourself, but that's how you can make it larger, okay, than in Cricut Design Space. I could go on and on for days, guys, about designing, but I don't want this video to be 150 million years long. So I'm going to stop here. But if you have any questions, guys, you could print this out from Cricut Design Space. If you're going to have to bring it down because we have our alert. So what you want to do is just take and group everything together to make it as one. Okay, so now it's one, and then you want to go ahead and kind of shift it in to get out of the alert. Okay, so no alerts. And then once you get it all together, you want to go ahead and you want to click on flatten to make it a print then cut. Okay, so everything is going to be in one place. So when you click on make it, there is your sticker that you're going to place on your placard. So you would go ahead and print this out. Cricut is going to send it to your printer. Keep in mind, Cricut does not print. It doesn't print. Okay, it does not print images. It's a cutting machine. So Cricut is going to send this to your printer. You do need a printer. It's going to print out. You're going to take it and place it on your mat, just like you see here. You're going to place it in the same position with the M starting up at the top corner here and not going across your screen like we were designing. And then you would put this in your cutting machine, and then Cricut would go and it would cut around the blue border, and that's it. Okay, so that is how I got the pictures inside of the word mother. I hope that answers all of your questions and reference to it. And like I said, you can use it as a sign, as a picture, or what have you. I wanted to show you the one. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. This is the one that I did earlier. Okay. So you can see this is the one that I did earlier. And so basically I did the black in the back. I still had the white, and then I also had red, and then I just added these little triangle shapes on the end, and then I put McGuire. So this is the one where people were asking questions. And again, you can see everybody was represented in the photo. That's it. All right, guys, that is it. That is all that I have. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about this or how to do it, then please reach out. You can send me a comment. You can email me at candoris48@gmail.com if you're not comfortable placing it in the comments. If you're currently in my Facebook group, I want to thank you guys so much for being members of my Facebook group, Candoris Cricut and Creative Crafters. And if this is the first time that you're seeing my tutorial, you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for those that are currently subscribed, thank you guys so much. And I'm going to be doing another giveaway on my YouTube channel when I reach 3,000 members. I'm slightly under that number right now. But when I hit 3,000 YouTube subscribers, then I'm going to be doing another gift card giveaway. And it'll be more than the last time. Not going to tell you how much because I want you to join my channel or sign up to subscribe to my channel because you choose to and not because of the giveaway. Just want to throw that out there. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have a great day. Oh, and if you would like to join my group is called, again, Candoris Cricut and Creative Crafters. And all you have to do is you can see here, this is a private group. So if you want to join my group, just send me a Facebook group request to Candoris Cricut and Creative Crafters, and we will get you added. It is a teaching craft group. It is all about learning. All right. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And again, each one reach one so that each one can teach one. Have a great day.